Hello there, it's Mr. Gary, your art teacher. Welcome back. I hope that your week has been great. It's time to get into this week's art lesson. This week we're going to be talking about colors. Not just the primary colors, which are red, yellow, and blue, but also what happens when you combine two of those colors. Most of you probably already know that if you combine yellow and blue, you get, green. And if you combine yellow and red, you get, orange. And of course, blue and red gives you, yes, it gives you purple. We're going to be exploring how to combine colors, the primary colors, to make the new colors, green, orange, and purple. And those are called secondary colors. We're going to be doing that through this art project. This xylophone is amazing. These bad boys here are called bars. You've got your mallets here. And I think that this is going to be an exciting one. I'm really looking forward to getting into this. Let's get started.
Okay, so the first thing that you're going to need is a piece of paper. Just a regular sheet of paper. I want you to rotate it so that it is portrait, not landscape. We're going to fold the bottom two corners of the paper up perfectly in half. It doesn't have to be perfect actually. Just try and make the corners touch and give it a nice crease. Then you're going to take those two bottom corners and only fold it halfway up. Make a crease. Flip it over. And then you're going to take the bottom corners and rotate them so that they're now on top. Okay, so this bottom two corners now needs to also be folded in half. Match them up against the top two corners. And when you open it up, you should have 6 different sections divided by 5 different creases. Now remember, if you've at all fallen behind or you need to go back and go extra slow, that's the magic of pre-recorded lessons. Go back, follow step by step. Don't feel like you're falling behind. You can always catch up. Okay, what I would like you to do now is get a pencil or a black crayon, and I would like you to do your best to very carefully trace right on top of those 5 creases. These are going to separate your paper out into 6 different sections. All right, now it's time to add a bit of color. And I'm going to do that by using only primary colors. I'm going to be using paint, but you can use crayons, colored pencils, even oil pastels if you have them. But do not use marker, it's not really going to work the same. You're going to start with the top bar and coloring that red. Then you need to make orange, which is red, and yellow mixed together. Now if you're using crayon, for example, you just want to kind of combine those colors. You don't want to push down too hard, but combine them that way. After orange, I'm going to put yellow on the third bar down. And then after yellow comes green, which is yellow and blue mixed together. Second to last is just straight up blue. And last but not least, I'm going to combine red and blue to make purple. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my black crayon back out, and I'm going to create vertical lines and start from the red, go all the way down, and as I go down, these vertical lines are going to be closer and closer together. These are the lines that I'm going to use to cut out my xylophone bars. So I'm going to do some careful cutting and making sure that every time I go down a level, the bars are getting shorter and shorter and shorter, all the way down to the final purple bar, which should be the shortest. Now don't throw away the scraps, you're going to need those in just a bit. Your next step is to cut out 2 long strips of black paper. And if you don't have black paper, you can always just color white paper with a black crayon. But you're going to need 2 long strips because these are what the xylophone bars go on top of. Place your black strips on a white sheet of paper. You're going to need a big white sheet of paper. and place them so that they are diagonal, both of them. And you want them to be close together on the right side of the paper and far apart on the left side of the paper. Carefully glue the 2 black strips of paper down. And what I did was I arranged the colored bars, red all the way on the left, the longest, down to purple all the way on the right. That way I knew ahead of time where I was going to glue them down and place them. Once you have them properly spaced out, go ahead and glue the back. Remember, dot, dot, not a lot. We don't want a gluey, sticky mess. And place them down on your paper. Your next step is to get a hold of those scraps that you were using, fold those scraps in half, and cut circles out of those scraps. By doing this, you should get 2 scraps at a time, and you can place different colored circles onto different colored bars to really kind of give it a more colorful, more fun, and realistic look for a xylophone. Your next step is to create the mallets, and for this you're going to need another scrap black paper and 2 popsicle sticks. Simply cut out circles for your mallet heads, and then the popsicle sticks are going to be the handles, and you can place them pretty much anywhere you want. Just make sure to do some careful gluing. You don't want a mess, you don't want a sticky mess, we mentioned that before. So when you put down the mallet, glue it somewhere where you know it's going to hold it down for a couple seconds, and you should be ready for the final step. For the final step, I would like you to get your black crayon out one last time and draw a bunch of musical notes all over the background to fill in the paper, make it really look like a great work of art. And then don't forget some swooshy lines lightly drawn for musical bars. Some swooshy lines lightly drawn for musical scales.
Hello there,
and
Mr. Gary, your art teacher. Welcome back. I hope
And don't forget some swooshy lines for a musical scale, making this one amazing work of art. Great job!
All right, that was awesome. I really enjoyed making the Xylophone art project. I hope that you did too. Do not hesitate to take a picture and send me what you did so I can see how awesome your art turned out. I think mine turned out great. I'm going to go ahead and make sure that my name's on the back, and I'm going to hang it somewhere where I can see it. Thank you so much for your time today. I will see you next time.